I grew up here in Spokane, went to Ferris High School, and went to college in Helena, Montana at Carroll College. Then went to medical school out in Chicago at Northwestern. Joined the military to help pay for my high student loans. Got out last year and moved back to Spokane, and I do emergency medicine. I work at Sacred Heart currently. I applied to, I think, 15 medical schools, and just happened to be that was the best school I got into, and I didn't get into my state school, University of Washington, which is where I had my kind of sights set.
He won't say this, but he was valedictorian of his college class, yet didn't get in the University of Washington, whereas 8 of his other students did get in through the WWAMI program. And of course, University of Washington is a lot cheaper than Northwestern, obviously, and so he went to Northwestern, had to take out the military loan to kind of get through that, and that's what.
Well, it is interesting that there's about 4 or 5 other guys that I know pretty well, right around my era, that also didn't get in at University of Washington. All guys from Spokane, actually, who got into great schools, had great training. I mean, talking Notre Dame. Where did Kyle go? Northwestern undergraduate. Case Western Reserve, Tulane Medical School,
Vanderbilt.
So some people with
WSU,
very good training that for some reason or another didn't get in, and probably largely due to the fact that there just haven't been enough slots in Washington State for the qualified applicants that exist. Unfortunately, I think that we could train more people. When people go through medical school and residency, those are the ages where they typically get married and have kids and want to settle down and establish a family and put their roots down. So I think if you train people here, they're more likely to stay here and serve the place that they're from.
Data shows that probably 2/3 of physicians that finish their training, whether it's medical school or residency training in a certain area, will stay in that area. And so if they finish, they'll probably more likely stay in the inland northwest, instead of being in the King County area where a lot of them stay. And that was my point earlier when I stated that most of my partners at the Rockwood Clinic, and I had very few partners that, and offhand I can only think of one, that trained at the University of Washington. All the others had trained elsewhere, and we had to recruit from all over.
I think finding individuals that want to come to Spokane, but if you have people that are from Spokane that want to be here, that helps. And I think your group, you guys experienced that for many years, having to recruit from outside the area.
Part of that is the fact that they did not grow up here and they did not train here. And so I think that makes a big difference too, and I think choosing the people that are the best qualified is helpful, and also people from around this area and the Inland Empire, I think, will really help them as far as establishing not only a good program for primary care, but also a program that will help in the future assure us to have physicians coming back here to this area. Any big state that's about the size of Washington, for instance, they almost all have 2, if not 3 or 4 medical schools. Minnesota, Missouri, they all have several medical schools. The only ones that have no medical schools are, the WWAMI program, or like North Dakota's got 1 medical school, but that's state population, I think, is like 600,000. So it's a little different situation.
And Chicago has 8 medical schools in the city itself. So, I think we could definitely use the school here, and it would be great for the state, great for the community.